So this is my first motorcycle build. I've played around with motorcycles a lot in my lifetime, but when my kids were born, I took about a 20-year break from motorcycles, sold everything I had, and a couple years ago I bought a project bike that became my daily rider. And then at the end of summer 2022, I purchased this BMW. It's a 1975 BMW R75/6, and I will insert some pictures of what it looked like when I brought it home, because it didn't look anything like this. I took it all apart, completely replaced all of the plastics, rubbers, obviously gave it my own style, my own flair. It's kind of a mix between a cafe racer and a scrambler. I love the look of the off-road tires, the dirt bike style scrambler tires, and of course the dust boots in the front that you see on a lot of the scramblers, the off-road lights. In fact, this is the first one that I've seen that has two off-road lights. Usually it has one that's like a passing light. I think it's on the left side. But regardless, this is just my own taste, my own take on this style of a bike. So I modified the frame, obviously mainly from the back of the frame back is where most of the modification took place. And then added the bobber seat. The original tank, I still have it. It was a toaster tank, and I kept it. I'm probably going to play around with it a little bit, maybe do some different paint jobs on it and stuff. And so I'll have that tank if I want to try something different. But I like this style of the BMW tanks. I think this style was a little bit later one. Or actually, I think I've seen some the same year that had that tank. It was just a different model, different style. So anyway, mostly blacked it out. There's a little bit of stuff that's not blacked out. I left the carburetor alone. I didn't do anything on that. I've got the BMW R75/6 plate, you know, where the numbers are visible, so that's not completely blacked out. A little bit of detail on the cylinder covers, and a little bit of detail on the front cover that covers up your alternator and your electronics that are in there. Completely redid all of the wiring. I went with the Moto Gadget Mo Unit Blue, so it does have the Bluetooth configuration on it. I can do a lot of different things with that if I chose to. Right now I've just decided to keep it simple, so I'm not using a lot of the functions that I could use, but I have the Mo Unit Blue as my main computer, if you will, for the bike. I have a breakout box A by Moto Gadget inside the headlight bucket, and that sends the signal to my Moto Gadget Motoscope Pro, which I'll show you that. That sends the signal to it for the turn signals, bright lights, that type of thing. So there's that. So of course, like I said, Moto Gadget Motoscope Pro. Believe that's all of the Moto Gadget stuff that's on it. And then I have a Rix regulator rectifier to replace the original regulator rectifier. Quite a bit smaller battery with a custom battery case that a friend of mine made just for me, just for this bike. So have that on there, and of course that is a anti-gravity type of battery to handle the higher voltage output with the Rix regulator rectifier. Just went with some short pipes on the exhaust pipes, and then I kept the original exhaust pipe from the muffler forward, including the crossover pipe, and I painted that with the high temp exhaust spray paint, and then I wrapped the two sides with the exhaust pipe wrap. I like the look of that, plus, you know, keeps a little bit of heat off of some of the frame and wiring components that run through. The brakes are all original, so it's still got the original drum brake and shaft drive in the rear. Transmission stock, engine stock. I took everything apart, inspected everything. It was still in fantastic condition, and so I just simply put in new gaskets, O-rings, new seals, all of that, put it all back together and kept it all stock. The front brake, same thing. It's still the original disc brake, the single disc, and I kept that original. Still got the original master cylinder underneath the tank, except it's been rebuilt. So mainly on this bike, it's the electronics that were changed up. Everything is LED now, and all of the wiring in the bike that comes from the Moto Gadget M Unit Blue, or MO Unit Blue, comes up to these switches. So I've got, on the left side, I have 4 switches. The top one is the horn, bottom is the turn signal. Headlight is top right, and it's 1 push for the headlights to come on, a 2-second push for the bright lights, and then back to a dim light is just a 1-second push. They're just momentary switches. And then the bottom right is actually a configuration button for the Moto Gadget Motoscope Pro to go through and change your settings in that. And then on the right side, right turn signal and the start button. So it's actually on and off. If I wanted to shut it off with a button, I can shut it off right there, as opposed to the ignition key. Kept the original ignition switch and ignition key just because I think that's cool as heck where it's at, and you know, just it's something different. That's kind of what I like about everything about this bike, is it's something different, especially in the area I'm in. I've never seen another one. The only closest place that I've even seen another bike similar to this, not even exactly like this, is hours away in a big city. And so, you know, for my area, this definitely stands out. It's definitely something different. I found some DOT approved dirt bike style tires for like an enduro motorcycle, and love the look of them. Like I said, it's not about function as much as it just is the style of it. I love the style of it. These are Kenda. The front tire is a 100/90 with a 19-inch wheel, and that was the original spoked wheel that came on the bike. Same with the rear. It's the original spoked wheel, and this one has a Kenda, and these are Trackmaster tires, by the way. 100/100-18, so 18-inch wheel on the rear. So that's what I went with on tires. And all of my switches, my handlebar turn signals, the handlebar turn signals that are in combination with the mirrors, the forward controls, my clutch cable, brake cable, throttle cables, tail light, the license plate frame actually has a light built into it that casts a light down over the license plate. All of my electronics, with exception of the Moto Gadget equipment, I bought on Amazon, and I kind of went with what had the best reviews, lowest dollar that I could find. The bobber seat also came off of Amazon. Man, guys, this thing is so much fun to ride. It's different than riding any other bike. My other bike is a Honda VTX 1300, which is, you know, basically a highway cruiser style bike, and you know, big heavy bike. And this thing is just, it's light and quick, and handles totally different, but it's just so much fun to ride. If you have any questions, like I said, this was my first build, and I learned a lot. Learned a lot of things the hard way too, but you know, that's okay, part of the process. So if you have any questions, if you're doing a similar build, a lot of these R series BMWs are very similar. Most of them have a lot of the same parts, a lot of crossovers on them. So if there's anything I can do to help you with your build, your project, let me know. Drop a comment at the bottom of the video, And if there's anything I can do to help you, I'd gladly do it. These bikes are so much fun to ride and extremely fun to build. I don't imagine this is going to be my last one. Now that I've built one and I have the confidence to know that I can do it, I will probably definitely be building another one in the future. So anyway, thank you for watching, and get out there and ride and have some fun. Catch you on the next one.